Okay, hey everyone. You might have seen this on the community tab, but it's finally time for me to make a video on it now that I've got my thoughts together and decided what I want to do about it. So, if you're unaware, this email is the topic of question. Simply put, episode 2 of Shinobi Versus was age restricted. Now, what does that mean? Well, there are 3 things that concern us. Let's go to this other tab. We want this paragraph right here. When a video is restricted, viewers must be signed in and 18 years of older to view it. The second thing is that, and this is the one I think that really hurts, these videos are not shown in certain sections of YouTube. That's number 2, and then number 3, age-restricted videos may also have limited or no ads. So in other words, this affects the video on all counts. Thankfully, the comments are still intact, which is the main thing for me. I'm like, please don't take my comments, but having a video marked as this really affects the video on the long term. And this is part of the reason why I made the video before Shinobi Versus started, talking about the fan service, because I felt it was a level higher, and I didn't want to say it, but I was slightly worried that something like this could happen. Just to clarify something, right? Because since we're talking about it, this is a video that I had yet to upload, and I probably won't, it's just a test, but I want to give you all an idea of what I had to fill out for all of my videos, right? Because some people think YouTube normally makes a decision. No, it's normally us. Since COPPA was put into place, all creators have to fill out this questionnaire on what they think their video contains. Normally, for most of my videos, I normally end up checking this. It's fine, you know, I'm not playing anything too gory or anything like that, so YouTube says, okay, it's cool. We have no problem with this. This is the real thing that makes or breaks stuff. So for example, for Persona, sometimes I might have to click this first option and we're fine. No issues, life's looking good. It's these other 2 that cause concern. If I were to click any of these other 2, and you can see what they say, you see it switches to limited ads. And to give you an idea of what that does to a video, here is the most popular SK video that I've put out. And I'm glad it's this one. I actually was trying to push it as much as I could, but you see it's got 3.6k views and its revenue 73 cents. Technically not supposed to be showing this, but I think we'll be okay. But here's a Persona episode with much less views, 698, and you see its revenue 136. Much less views, but a lot more revenue. Having a video being marked as limited or no ads makes a huge difference, but for me, knowing that SK was the type of series it was, I prepared myself. I was like, okay, that's fine. And when Shinobi Versus happened, unlike Burst Renewal, where there were some episodes where I feel like I could get away with saying, oh yeah, it's ad friendly, yet none of the ones I recorded so far, I'm like, yeah, no, it's probably going to be limited, but I was fine with that. But what we have here that's making me pause. My guess is that it would limit the ads more, but again, it also affects the view count, which if you're unaware, I can tell where my views come from, and a lot of times, check out this audience, subscribed versus not subscribed. 50 down the middle. That tends to be pretty standard. So in other words, you could say it'll cut the views in half. And I can guarantee you, there are some episodes I record in the future with Shinobi Versus that, yeah, YouTube will definitely mark those as age restricted. And from what people told me, Burst Renewal, it was tame compared to the rest of the series because they wanted to make sure that they could really post that game. So if that's the case, and I do end up playing the rest of the series, and that means all of them from this point on will probably have this issue. And on a side note, this is exactly why I tried to avoid stuff with Mirai. It's because of this. So, since I mentioned the video in question where I talked about my concerns with the level of fan service in Shinobi Versus, I also mentioned the possibility of me stopping, putting the series down, trying Miyabi's DLC, and then just trying the other team members, and then calling it a day. Is that something that I want to do? Not anymore. Yeah, so I was playing Shinobi Versus more, and I'll just say this. I've seen Miyabi's team now. If you know the game, you know what happens around that moment. And that's making me really want to play more. But not only that, 2, Asuka's actually growing on me, and 3, Yumi has not given me any indication that I might dislike her in the future. It could still happen, I think I might need to actually get to her route at this point, but in other words, all lights are green, and some lights that even need to be green are turning green. So I actually would like to continue it somehow, but if I do, some things are gonna have to change, because while I was okay with the YouTube's rules before, having my videos go through this, that changes things. So the first thing, I could cut moments out that I think YouTube wouldn't like in my videos. And funny enough, I start experimenting in the next couple of episodes on how to control the brake mechanic, and I actually get success with it. Nevertheless, I think removing that content completely from the games isn't the way to go. It's like, why? It's not necessarily why I play the games in the first place, but I don't think I should remove that content completely from the episode. So, except for Mirai, that non-negotiable, especially in Shinobi Versus, okay? But plus, I'm pretty sure people want to see my reactions to that stuff, if only my first time, but still. So if I'm not going to do that, then that means that the videos will inevitably be age restricted. And yes, so here is my thinking. I have 2 things that I was considering, and if you all have more ideas on what I can do, feel free to leave them down in the comments below, because I even considered doing something like maybe hosting the episodes on another site, but I've seen people try that before in YouTube with very mixed results. Basically, people like to stay on the platform that they're on. But if I continue to do the series like I would, then inevitably I think other series would have more priority, because with the SK videos being attacked on all sides, and in fact I also heard Noble of Lost Paws, I think he thought his entire channel was being considered in that category, so therefore his thumbnails weren't working, which that also is a feature of this. I've experimented with it myself, and yes, some thumbnails just won't show up properly, the custom ones. It'll just have a default one from the episode. It's not a good time. It's not a good time. But there are 2 things that I was thinking about, that I was considering. One, which isn't exactly my favorite, but it's an idea, is I could do a pretty high like goal for each video, and then whenever it's met, I could upload the next one. That way, hopefully, they could reach other people, but 1, I'm not even sure if that would work, and 2, it would also significantly slow down the pace of the videos as well, or it might even outright stop it if I do too high of a goal. And also, I just don't want people to say, like the video, even, I like knowing if people actually like the video, but it is something we could consider. But then, here was another thing I was considering, and let me just say before I say this, if I do this, nothing will change on the normal end. The series will just continue to be uploaded. You can look at this as more of a bonus. I was thinking about experimenting with channel memberships. Now, let me explain. I was mainly looking at ways and try to counteract all the things that the age restriction will do. The main thing being that it won't be shown to as many people. Another YouTuber that I watch actually did this, where he would post 2 episodes in advance for people who had joined his channel membership. And in doing so, that ensures that the people who at least most want to see the episode are the ones watching it at that moment. So I thought, if YouTube retains the data of the people who mainly watched most of the video when it's released to the public, then that might help out the videos. Because I don't think all the videos of Shinobi Versus will be age restricted. It's only some of the more extreme ones. So my thinking was the other videos can benefit from having that initial buff. And I was also thinking that if I did it this way, maybe it would help to not monetize any of the SK videos. Because maybe telling YouTube what type of video it is actually helps them zero in and say, okay, we're gonna restrict this one. Because you only have to fill out that questionnaire if the video is monetized. But if I started uploading bonus episodes of SK with channel memberships, there would be no need to fill that out, and maybe that also can avoid the situation. I've had the capability to actually enable channel memberships for years now. I never wanted to implement it because I didn't want to look at this as a job, but with everything that YouTube is doing, this seems like the most optimal solution, at least just to experiment for maybe a few months. Because like I said, it won't change the normal upload schedule at all. It's really just, if you sign up with it, you would get access to 2 episodes early ahead of everyone else, but everyone else will still see those episodes. I never want to make something completely exclusive, but it would also give you access to like emotes and things like that, and it honestly seems kind of fun when I look at it. So that's the best solution that I think I can come up with, but I am all for any ideas that you all have. So please, if you can think of anything else, post them down in the comments below, and then I'll make a follow-up video saying, here's what I think we should do about everything. Because like I said, if I'm going to continue playing the games, and there's a lot of them left to go through, especially if I want to play the obscure ones like Deep Crimson and some of the other spin-off games, then I'd want to implement a system that I feel will work. So with that being said, please post your thoughts about any of this down in the comments below as always, and I hope to see you all next time.